to be here. And today I'm very happy to share with you our recent work. Is to study the minor changes of the land-sea mask and their impact on the tropical Africa and South America's climate and vegetation. It is a collaborative work, and these are major contributors, and many thanks to Zhongshi and Huan, who are in charge of the GCM and the vegetation models. So these are my outlines. So why we are interested in the South America and Africa. As we know, 45% of the global forests are in the tropical region, and 80% of them are in the Africa and South America. So these two continents encompass a variety of climate zones and high biodiversity. As under modern conditions, you can see the very typical rainforest landscape in the west tropical Africa and the Amazon region, and in the east of Africa we can see the relative dry savanna landscape, and also the exotic shrubland landscape in the northeastern South America. So to understand the evolution of these two continents, climate and vegetation is very important to understand their roles in the global water cycle, carbon cycle, and biodiversity. So there are many studies investigating the long history of the tropical Africa's climate. They are mainly from the marine during data site. The two long records are from the northeastern Africa and the West Africa. Beacons in 2013 have analyzed the carbon-13 in the plant wax and also the pollen data, and they have indicated that during the last 12 million years, it seems like there is no true rainforest in the East Africa. Instead, only seasonal forest expansion can appear intermittently. And by comparison, the East and the West records, Bondfield has found the fluctuations for this tree cover for these two areas, and they have summarized some in-phase and out-phase change of these two areas. For example, during 4 to 6 million years ago, both West and East Africa, they have increased simultaneously in the tree cover density. But during 3 to 4 million years ago, they have an antiphase. In the East Africa, there is a intensified aridification. And after the onset of Northern Hemisphere ice sheet, both regions experienced the decrease of the tree cover, and we can have a more obvious decrease in the rainforest. So there are also many modeling efforts to investigate the driver for the long-term evolution of this tropical climate. So it is crucial factors from the tectonic activities like the mountain uplifts. It includes the Andes and the East African plateau that is interested by Cheng Zhang. And also previous study has also done a long-term evolution. For example, from the recent publication of Acosta, they have discussed the evolution of the paleogeography and their impact on the tropical these two continents, and they found that the tectonic uplift are very important for the formation of the modern region in these two continents. And also, this is about uplift of the East African region. So they found that the uplift of the East African plateau can lower the seasonality in the East Africa. And also, Zhongshi has investigated the retreat of potatoes on the Sahara formation and revealed that they are very critical and trigger the Sahara Desert formation in the last 7 million years ago. So these are very important and very longer term evolution of the tectonic plates and the climate change. We cannot overlook the minor geographic change, like the final state of the critical seaways. One is in the South America. It connects the North America and South America. Many proxy data has revealed that this cars has been opened before the late Pliocene, and they have experienced critical shoring or closure process during the early to mid Pliocene, and can confine to a shallow state. And simultaneously in the West tropical Pacific, we can see also the Indonesian seaway has a narrowing process that it can due to the convergence of the Australian plate and the Eurasian plate, it gets narrowing and to be closer to modern-like state. So these two tropical seaways are very important for the organization and reorganization of ocean circulation and tropical climate. And they are also, their final state occurred in the transition of the Pliocene, the transition climates during the Pliocene. So we are very interested in how are the effects of the closure of these two tropical seaways on the tropical climate and the vegetation. A previous study has already invoked the narrowing of the Indonesian seaway to explain the aridification of East Africa during 3 to 4 million years ago. It also links to the diversification and the expansion of hominids. But this study only used the ocean circulation model and did not systematically discuss the combined effect and the separate roles of these two tropical seaways. So this brings us to the objective to study the combined and the separate roles of these two seaways, their impact on the tropical climate and the vegetation. The model we applied here is the Norway's low-resolution model, and it has been intensively applied in multiple Paleo-Climate studies. Due to its low resolution, so we need to evaluate whether it can do this research or not. So we have evaluated that this model can simulate an Indonesian through flow very similar to the observational data. That means even with the low resolution and without representative of these minor islands, the large-scale ocean circulation and the through flow is it can simulate. And also we checked the the seasonal rainfall in the East and Africa and the East South America, the bias exists, but the patterns of the seasonal rainfall is comparable to the data. So we say this model can do this job. And the vegetation model we use the LPG gas is a digital, is a dynamical global vegetation model. So this is the observational data, and this is the simulated results. We can see the patterns are very similar, but originally this model can have some bias. But we can systematically analyze the bias by comparing two simulations. So what we have done, we based on the prior control simulation. It's from the prior mid-boundary conditions, and for these two tropical seaways, we eliminated some land grids in the Indonesian and seaway, and also in the Panama estuaries to represent their previous opening and weathening schedules. So by compare the control and the opening states, we can know their closure effect. So we have done a combined two seaways simulation, and we have done two separate cases to consider the single effect. And we passed the critical variables to the vegetation model to get the response of the vegetation. So here are the results. These are the response of the temperature and precipitation to the change of the tropical seaways. These columns are the combined effect. We can see that for the temperature, we can see the warming in the two tropical continents and cooling in the subtropical Atlantic. And for the rainfall, we can see the combined effect are they lead to drying in the East Africa and East South America, and wetting in the west region of these two continents. The individuals from two seaways are the Indonesians, the narrowing of Indonesian mainly contribute to the warming in the continents, and wetting in the Africa and South America. And the karst major roles are in control the temperature in the Atlantic and the drying in the northeastern South America, also named Nordest region. And we also checked the east-west rainfall contrast for different cases. And from this comparison, we know that the closure or narrowing of tropical seaways can make the climate in tropical Africa and South America closer to the modern condition. So this is the seasonal rainfall in the East Africa and the Nordest region. So from that, we can see the colored lines represent the Pliocene and the seaways cases. So we can see that in both regions, the Pliocene simulations can show wetter conditions during the raining seasons than the PI does. And the closure of the tropical seaways mainly affect the rainfall rate in the raining season. And that is because when we check the divergent wind and moisture during the raining season in two areas, we found that under a control case, as modern case, we can find very strong divergence in the East Africa and in the East South America. And when we opening these two tropical seaways, these two strong divergence disappeared. And so this can promote rainfall increase for these two regions. So this is very interesting, and this climate can lead to significant or obvious vegetation change in these two regions. So this is the biome distribution under these two single seaways condition. So when compared to the widening of Indonesian seaway with the control, we can see the expansion of a tropical forest, also extend to the south and the Madagascar island. And when compared the opening of the cars with the control, we can find the expansion of forest in the northeast region. So this is corresponding to the climate, especially for the precipitation change that they have resulted from the seaways change. And this is the PFT fractions. So the major changes in the PFT fractions are for the tropical broad evergreen and C4 grassland. Due to the timing, I give a brief summary that, as we know, the transition of climate and vegetation in the East Africa is not abrupt, and it's different from different sites. So multi-factors control must be existed. So the changes in tropical seaways is not only factors, but it can serve as one of the preconditions for the formation of the East-West contrast region in the tropical Africa and South America. Thank you.